So you've made a decision. You want to become a minimalist. You know what steps to take, but now you need to create a budget, and not just any budget to track where your money is going, but you need a minimalist budget. So in this budget, or by using this budget, you'll be able to remove unnecessary expenses and spend only what you need, to which will in turn help you to get rid of debt and keep you out of debt, and also allows you to save as much money as possible at all times. Now remember, if you want to become a minimalist, then debt is bad and saving as much money as you possibly can at all times is good. So if you have a budget already, comment down below and let me know. And even if you don't, also comment down below and let me know. And if you didn't watch any of my previous videos about the steps to take to become a minimalist, then you should watch those videos as well. Now, a very quick reminder before I get into minimalist budgeting: if you're new to the channel and this is the first time that you're seeing me or watching one of my videos, my name is Ian. And even if it's not the first time, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. I'll really appreciate it. And also, that's how these videos get recommended to more people. And consider subscribing to this channel, and that will allow you to get the updates of when I post new videos. And I'll be posting a new video here every single day on YouTube. So if you want daily content on personal finance topics, be sure to turn on all notifications for this channel. Now, before we get into the budget, it's always easy to think that budgeting isn't important if you're not into debt or if you can manage your money well. So for instance, I wouldn't budget before because I was always spending less money than I made, and I was always saving, so in my mind there was no need to budget because I'm not getting myself into any financial trouble. However, I realized that there were times when I was wasting money on things I really didn't need to waste it on, like purchasing bottled water every day. So on average, this would be 3 to 4 times a day. Now, water is important and grabbing bottled water is easy, but the cost of buying a bottle of water, which is half a liter, compared to the cost of just buying 1.5 liters, or just getting a reusable water bottle and filling it up with filtered water, was much cheaper. Also, although most people don't really care about the environment, I do, so using plastic only once and then just discarding it doesn't sit well with me. So I was making purchases like that and others that weren't impacting me negatively financially because, like I said, I was still spending less than I earn and I was still saving, so it didn't seem like a big deal. But then when you add up the cost over, let's say, 30 days, then you start to think differently, and especially when you compare how much money you can earn from the money you save and invest. So in my example, the vending machine charges $1.95 for a bottle of water. I use it at least 3 times per day, sometimes even more. That's $5.85 per day, and if we multiply that by 30, we have wasted $175. And I'm saying wasted because the other option of getting a reusable bottle and using filtered water is going to cost you either $0 per day or just a few cents. $175 times 12 is $2,000. You're saving $2,000 a year by not wrecking the environment and also not paying for bottled water every day. $2,000 invested at an 8% annual return or average return, with an additional $2,000 invested each year from not purchasing bottled water, grows to be $33,000 in 10 years, which $11,000 from that is interest or dividends earned. Now, of course, you can and should invest more than that, but in this example, you can see how much better you could put this money to use if you were to budget for this single thing. If you started doing this at 25 years old and you did it for the majority of your life and stopped when you were at 60, or you started when you were 20 years old, then by doing just this one simple thing, you would save around $80,000 over 40 years, which is a lot of money, but that's not even the exciting part. You would have made almost $480,000 from that $80K invested. That's almost the cost of someone's dream home. So on a daily or monthly basis, this doesn't seem like a big deal, but in the long run, it's a very big deal. And this is what minimalism is all about. So we'll budget so as not to waste any money, like in this example. Now, also a very important part of this is that you figure out why you want to be a minimalist or save the most amount of money possible, because if you don't have a reason, you won't stick with this budget. And from my experience, I can tell you that being a minimalist is really, really hard. It's not easy, so you need to have some reason why you're doing this, or else you won't stick to it. So let's get to the budget. So the first thing you'll be doing is, just as with any other budget, you'll need to list your income or your income streams. So write down how much money you make every month. Now you need to also list all your expenses, and here you list every single expense that you have. Don't leave out any of this part. However, make two categories here and do this on paper with one side being wants and the other side being needs. And then you list every single thing that you can think of. And even if you need to list them, take a day or two, think about it some more and then list more if you have to, but don't leave anything out. Now, let's not confuse wants with needs. Be very honest with yourself here. Needs are what you have to survive. If you can live without it, then it's not a need. So don't put going to the movies or going to karaoke as a need. Netflix, Amazon Prime, and all these subscriptions are also wants. If you don't have them, you won't die. Now, needs are your mortgage, rent, utilities, food, clothing, transportation, phone service, internet, and things like that. Now, after listing these two categories, the next thing that you want to move into is your debts if you have any. List every single debt that you have, whether it's a car payment, a personal loan, credit card debt, and whatever else you have as debt, just list them, but do this in the order of smallest to largest. Do it this way so you can attack the smaller debts first and get rid of them, and that allows you to feel like you're winning, and in fact you are winning while boosting your confidence. Now, if this is getting a little complicated on paper, I'm going to tell you how you can go about simplifying it now. So after doing this, you need to either get some envelopes, and each envelope will be used for a different thing. But if you're like me, there's an easier way to go about doing this. Go to your local credit union and ask them to allow you to open sub-accounts, and then usually they will allow this. So you'll end up having several checking accounts. So you'll have a sub-account for everything that you budget for, each category, and we're going to auto transfer money to each every single month. So for example, you'll have one checking account for your income. All your income goes there. Then you'll have a sub account for all your expenses. All expenses go there, or all needs I should say. Then you'll have another sub account for wants and another sub account for savings or investments. So this way you never go over your budget in any particular area and you only use the money you've budgeted. So no matter what happens, if you budget 40% of your income to go towards investing or saving, then that happens no matter what. And if you budget 10% of your income to go towards wants, then that also never exceeds the 10%. Now, notice I included wants here because being a minimalist has to do with being happy. And while minimalism is hard until you get used to it, you need to spend money on things you actually like, which may not be needs. So you definitely want to budget some money for spending on anything that you want. And as time goes by and your income increases, then the amount of money you get to spend on wants also increases. Now, another tip here is that you should create a separate account at a separate bank and stash cash there for your emergency fund, and do this so you never see that money. So it's there, but not really involved in your budget, and it won't influence you to overspend in your budget because you may increase your wants because you think that you have enough in an emergency fund to spend. Now, as for the budget and how you distribute your earnings, this depends on how much debt you have and if you have any, but let's look at some rough estimates and I'll try to keep it simple and quick. So your income comes into your checking account. If you have debt, then you should try to put as much as 15 to 30% of your income towards the debt, or as much as possible, starting with the smallest debt first, and the goal is to pay them off one by one. Now, if you don't have any debt, then move on to the next one. For investments or savings, you want to be saving, or better yet, investing at least 10% of your income. However, if you have debt, you may want to prioritize paying off the debt. So in that case, you can contribute 1 to 5% of your income for investments. And that's a really low percentage. But if you want to get into the habit of making the budget work, or you want to, so you'll still include it even if you're paying off debt. Now, as for your needs, well, this depends on how much money you make, but if you're the average person, you should be able to use 50% of your income or less for all your needs. This will include rent, utilities, transportation, food, and the things that you can't live without. Now, the other 10% of your income would be split in between your emergency fund and your wants, so 5% going to each. Now, if you don't have any debt, then you should increase your investments to at least 15% at the minimum, and anything over, keep it in investments. So this works out to be 30% for debt, 10% for investments, 50% for needs, 5% for wants, and 5% for your emergency fund. That covers 100% of your income. If you have no debt, then you can do 40% investments, 50% needs, 5% emergency fund, and 5% wants. Now, we're keeping the emergency fund low because you're already saving and investing a lot of your money and you have no debt. Now, you can modify this to best work for you, but this is a simple budget that prioritizes savings, investments, and needs over everything else, which is the minimalist approach to doing things. When your emergency fund gets to about 3 months of monthly expenses, you can keep going until it reaches 6 months. But if you have no debt and you're already saving 40% of your income, then you can add that 5% to your investments and make it 45%. Also, if you're thinking that 50% of your income is too much to cover your needs, then it all just depends on how much money you really make. If you make 6 figures, then that can easily be reduced to 25% of your income. But if you make, let's say, 50K or less per year, then 50% or close to it is more realistic in that case, even with you being frugal, because the cost of housing in particular is very high in most cities. Now, I want you guys to try this minimalist budget, or at least some variation of it, and let me know how it works. Comment below or message me on Instagram and let me know if this budget helps, and I'm sure it will. So in a very simple way, this is how you go about creating a minimalist budget. I hope you guys found this video very helpful, and if you'd like to see more videos just like this one, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, as that's the way these videos get recommended to more people here, and I'll really appreciate it. Also, don't forget to check out some of my other videos here on credit cards, banking apps, savings accounts, investments, ways to make money, and much more. Also, don't forget to subscribe and be sure to turn on all notifications for this channel, as that's the only way you'll be able to get the updates when I post new videos here. And I'll be posting a new video here every single day. And remember, I'm also leaving links down below to free stuff and free cashback offers. So be sure to check all the links down below in the description for all kinds of free stuff. Now, if this is the first video that you're watching from my channel, I have other videos relating to minimalism and budgeting, so be sure to check out those videos as well. Now, if you aren't investing as of yet, you really need to start doing so, and I'm leaving a link down below to WEBULL, which is a free and easy to use investment app and platform. And if you sign up using the link down below, you'll receive 1 to 2 free stocks that can be valued at up to $1,600. If you like the stocks, they're free, you get to keep them. If not, you can sell them, keep the cash, or you can use that money to invest in other stocks that you would prefer to invest in. Once again, I hope this video was very helpful. All the best with your minimalist approach to doing things, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.